Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachakadash, double honors to apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to your elect, which we hope to be. Now, Shabbat Hawaii from GMS Chicago. Got a quick little lesson for you Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelites who better shame and looking like heathens. You spirit bear witness that they're a child of the Heavenly Father. In the name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, who the world inwardly calls Jehovah God. In the name of the Heavenly Son is Yahweh Shai, who the world inwardly calls Jesus Christ, or Jesus Christos, or Yeshua, Yeshaya, Yahweh. And pretty much this is going to be a scripture today, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to go into how you can be affiliated, you know what I'm saying? You know, not the one that's doing the actual crime, but taking part in it, you know what I'm saying? And still be judged for it, man, you know? Because you had Apostle Kabar, he had did a sit down about how Pilate is going to get judged as well. Because what the scripture says, follow not a multitude to do evil, you know, and the wicked Pharisees and Sadducees. Actually, it goes into it. This is Mark 15:10. It says, verse 9. It says, verse 10. It says, verse 9. It says, but Pilate answered them, saying, will ye that I release unto you the King of the Jews? Because Yahushua was being crucified at this time, you know. And it says, verse 10, it says, for he knew that the chief priests had delivered him for envy. You know what I'm saying? You know, so they envied Yahushua, man. You know, they had a problem against Yahushua, man. You know, and all they wanted to do was see him get killed, you know. And that's going to be majority of our people. Because like it says in John 15:20, it says the servant's not greater than his Lord, you know. And it also says in verse 18, it says that it said if they had persecuted you, they also had persecuted me, for they hated me first, man. Roughly paraphrasing, man. You know, and it's true, man. Our people don't want to hear this truth. You know what I'm saying? They think it's a complete waste of time, or they look at it as entertainment. It's like, man, he know to go from this scripture to that scripture, from the New Testament to Old Testament stuff, and they look at it as entertainment and stuff, you know. You know, they don't take it serious and stuff, you know. And they gonna be the same ones that come against us in that day, man. You know. It says, verse 10 again, it says, for he knew that the chief priests had delivered him for envy. And it says, verse 11, it says, but the chief priests moved the people that he should rather release Barabbas unto them. And Pilate, verse 12, and Pilate answered and said again unto them, what will ye then that I shall do unto him whom ye call the King of Jews? And it says, and they crucified, and they cried out again, crucify him. Verse 14, it says, then Pilate said unto them, why, what evil have he done? And they cried out the more exceedingly, crucify him. You know, so he already knew that it was unrighteousness that was going on when it came down to Yahushua being crucified. You know, because when you that's a word. He knew the reason. He knew that he was innocent. You know what I'm saying? He already made that judgment call and stuff. And with him being placed as a court judge in that time to either crucify or release, you know what I'm saying? He feared the people, man. You know? He chose to crucify Yahushua because all the other people were saying how they came up with it. Because when you read further up, it says that they had so many witnesses accusing him and stuff. But he already knew what the real deal was, you know. So therefore, Pilate gonna get judged in that day, you know, and judged meaning being put to death. And why is that? That's because he was affiliated, like in the movie Blue Streak with Martin Lawrence and Dave Chappelle, and I don't know the other guy's name, you know, and they was doing that jewel heist, you know. They was robbers and stuff. And what ended up happening? You had Dave Chappelle, you know, he was over there scared and he didn't want to be part of it, you know, so he left, but then he came back and stuff, you know, and they found him in jail as well. He was affiliated with the crime, you know. So Pilate, even though it was seen like he was trying to get the blood off his hands, he was like, man, I already know. You know, these guys, they just mad at you. You know what I'm saying? Because you doing what you doing, they envious. You know, they envying you. That's why all this stuff is coming up about you out of the woodworks. You know, and Yahushua was famous. He was known for, because even when you read further down the scriptures, you know what I'm saying, further down this chapter, it completely goes into how they knew that they was like, they said here it is that he saved many lives, but his life he cannot save. So they already knew that he wasn't doing nothing wrong, but they was bringing up some fake stuff, you know, some fake stuff against him, you know, just to put him to death because they was envious, and Pilate knew that. So therefore he gonna get judged because he followed the multitude to do evil, even though he knew that Yahushua was innocent. But it was going to prophecy as well that they had to go down like that, man. You know, and then part of the prophecy is that it's gonna go down like that for some of us as well, you know. And I hope this video was edifying. I like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachakadash, the one honors to apostles, great millstone, and salutations to the elect, which we ought to be. Shalom and Abba.